Good morning, welcome to my Tireside Chat. Talking cryptocurrency, woo! It's so today is Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So it's Wednesday morning. It's almost 7:30. I'm on my way to work. Here in beautiful, sunny Fresno, California. The air quality index is not as terrible as it was last week. I don't know. It's finally starting to cool off here. For those of you who are watching that are just tuning in and are not familiar with the area, yes, I'm in California, but I do not go to the beach every day. We're about 2.5 hours from the beach, right in the middle of the state, and it has its advantages and disadvantages, like any other place you could pick on the planet Earth. It gets pretty hot here in the summers. Yes, it's the dry heat. Having spent plenty of time in Houston, Texas, for work myself, I used to fly out there. Between 2017 and 2022, I must have flown out to Fort Worth, Dallas area, and then Houston quite a bit. We had a plant out there, and then a headquarters, an HQ office, the company that I worked at. Hello, sorry. I was out there 12 times a year or something, so, including once or twice in the summer when I was moving equipment between offices. That humidity won't get you. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about the weather. Exciting. It's starting to feel a little exciting in the cryptocurrency space. We've got Bitcoin seems to be on an uptrend. Actually, I had to kind of check it again this morning, but I think it was close to hitting 68. So we've had a couple. It seems like in this recent weeks we've had a couple higher lows, slightly higher highs. It looks like we're gearing towards, we've already hit another higher high this week as far as Bitcoin goes, so that's really a good sign. We'll see how things continue on. If this really is an uptember, I think that's the term that I saw, uptember, October. It's early, I can't talk. But one exciting thing I wanted to say, or one thing to talk about would be, I got into Turbo. I'm not really one for meme coins normally, but there's something to be said about the fact, when there's a good meme coin project, which there are a few out there, where they're not just rug pulls, like probably, 90% of them maybe are or more, and they have a good team behind them. There's and a lot of enthusiasm in the markets. That's for whatever reason. Sometimes it's nothing more than that, or very little more than that. It's a good team, and people realize that it doesn't seem like it's just going to be another meme coin rug pull. It has a lot of potential for growth, and if you get in early, there's people all the time that make 100x on their money or more, and then it's just a matter of it getting exposure and continuing that excitement, and people buy into it. The price goes up and up and up, and if you got it in early, you can see some pretty massive gains. And are you actually changing lanes, dude, or are you just okay? No, I don't know. Why do you want to change lanes? So you got this whole open space over here. Okay, I'm going to talk about crypto, and then occasionally I'm going to rant about traffic. So anyways, hello, never mind. Go ahead. I check my mirrors before I change lanes. Just saying. I was fortunate enough, I heard about Turbo early this year and bought into it. another subject people are talking about is Kaspa. A lot of people, again, in the Kaspa community. I bring this up because, if you were someone like myself who, like the beginning of this year, did not want to let go of any of my Kaspa bag, and just are holding it. I'm glad that I actually wound up trading after making really good profits in Kaspa. I first got into that in, I think it was like August of 22, back when I was mining it still, because that was mainly how I was first getting into crypto. Was I was doing GPU mining, a good amount of it, and got into mining Kaspa, and then realized like what a good project it was, and actually started selling some of my ETH and other coins that I had obtained over the years prior, and trading for Kaspa when it was, I first got in when it was at, I think it was like 0.00002, so it was like 2/100ths of a penny, not 2/10ths, and started kind of like DCAing my way in. I think, I bought some, sold some here, took some profits, so I think I got into my average in Kaspa is about, around a penny, something like that. So by the time I put a good amount of money into it, and then I just sat on it, and I was patient, and sat on it until really, early this year, maybe late last year. And I was really hesitant. I was married to your bag, married to my bag, as people tend to be, for whatever reason. It's an emotional response, and you get to that point where you're trying to decide, okay, well, I've made all this money on this one crypto, and it seems like it's still going to keep going up. I have a lot of faith in that crypto. It's done well for me so far. I don't really want to sell any, but there's these other good projects. Like, I could take some of those profits and move that around into something else, and maybe make better gains, or other gains, while this one is just kind of sitting here. It's a risk. You are kind of taking a risk, but you also have to be emotionally detached. And I'm thankful. I try to follow. I look around on YouTube, and I watch different influencers, different channels, and people with different perspectives. And after seeing a number of YouTubers over the years in the crypto space, and I get, maybe it's just me, but you start to get, your BS detector gets to be pretty fine-tuned. and I like to think that I'd gotten to the point, especially by the end of last year or so, where I could watch someone on YouTube, an influencer or somebody talking about crypto, and tell and be like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, or that's a new perspective I hadn't thought of, and that's actually pretty legitimate. And so, I found a few different people like that who had done a lot of research in different projects, and then took what they were saying and then researched it on my own separately, as you should do. And I wound up trading about 60% of the Kaspa that I had for other coins. And even in doing that, looking back to the beginning of this year, my portfolio has been pretty flat. I think that unless you really got into the right things at the right time and traded at the right moment, and then held for the right amount of time, some people did, and some people, that made those moves earlier than I did. Now looking back, I wish I hadn't been as hesitant as I'd been on some of these moves, because if I had gotten into, if I'd made those same moves a month earlier when I first learned about them and I wasn't so hesitant, I would have made much better gains. But hindsight is 20/20, as they say, and that's the way things go. But that having been said, some of the so I did get into Turbo, getting back to my original point from 6 minutes ago. Sorry for taking so long to get to that, but I've made some really good gains there, and after making, I think I'm 4 or 5x up on my money there. After making some gains like that, and Turbo broke a penny this week, I had to also, another thing that's emotionally difficult to do is to say, you know what, I'm going to take some profits. We've got a vacation coming up in a few months, and you know what, I think I could pay for that whole vacation now with profits from just that, and which is still a small percentage. It's not a huge chunk. I could take that chunk of money that I made and still have a massive, good sized bag to hold on to, but I can take a little profits and, you know what, reap some rewards. Otherwise, why are we doing this? I realize it's still early in the season, but so I think ultimately, what I withdrew was 2% of my whole portfolio. Can I do without that? Yeah, you know what? If you're not taking profits, then I guess we're missing the whole point here. Now that, of course, when the cycle gets to the point where Bitcoin dominance has fallen from 57% where it is now down to the high 40s maybe, and it's really altcoin season, then I'm going to be taking some serious profits at that point. And that's what I'm really waiting for. That's what I'm really excited about. And I'm sure my wife is really annoyed with me because like most of my spare time I just spend at home looking at charts and watching YouTube videos and spending time in Discord channels and transacting and obsessing over crypto. Again, still, it's kind of died off. It's funny compared to like earlier this year or last year. Last year especially, when we were in a bear market, and like I had my Kaspa bag sitting in there and a couple other things, but with things being down, most of the time, like I would just, I'm not even gonna think about crypto right now. I would be off. I'm gonna go do other stuff in life. I'm just gonna leave it there, not worry about it, and not even think about it. And then when the market turns around, then I'll be excited again and I'll start paying attention. Anyways, just speaking from experience a little bit. And but yeah, happy to say I cashed out some crypto this morning. That's going to pay for we're going on a cruise in January with the family, and I'm excited about that. And it's going to pay for that. We're going to do a cruise and then head back, and when we get back from the cruise, maybe go to Disneyland for a day with my brother, and yeah, pretty excited. So in the meantime, I'm here at my day job. I'm probably going to be here for the foreseeable future. It's not like I'm not anywhere near a point where I'm going to retire in crypto yet. That would be awesome if that happens, if it gets to that point, but you can't count on it. In the meantime, don't want to psych yourself out. And but thankfully I've got a good job. I get paid well. I like where I work. I work with a lot of good people, and they provide health insurance, so that's not something to just be tossed aside. Health insurance ain't cheap, and yeah, unless you absolutely hate your job, then it's good to have regular income. Yeah, it's when you don't have it, and you're just eating away at a savings account or something, and your crypto or whatever, it's not an ideal situation to be in. So gotta make some money somehow. But anyways, all right, that's all. Have a great day, everyone. Talk again later.